Ladies and gentlemen, button pushers and wrench turners, welcome to another episode of Something's Broken. My name's Taylor Goodyear and I own TG CNC Service out of Wisconsin. Been a while. I got like 2 weeks of shit to catch up on here, but I'll try to make it quick and not drag it out. Before I left to Boston, I kind of let everybody know that there was something going on there, and then it was a potential that I would be there for 2 weeks, but I got it all done in a week. Just it was a bunch of PM stuff for the most part on a big horizontal out there for the OEM that I used to work for. So got out there, knocked everything out. Customers happy, got the machine back up and running. Came back when I came back the following week. I was pretty stacked. I had a machine. Can't think of where it was at. I know the machine. I was having a drawbar issue on it, and dug into it. I was able to get the tool out of the spindle. I think what we're kind of leaning towards is replacing the clamping cylinders, unclamped cylinders. There's an unclamped cylinder and then a booster. So I think we're going to replace those. So we'll just pretty much got to wait on parts for that. Went into another customer that had a brother tapping center. They were, to me, from what I can tell, the NC isn't booting. I swapped a couple of boards with another machine that they had to try to eliminate it because the control won't boot up, and I have 24 volts everywhere that I need it to be. So at that point, I mean, you just gotta start swapping shit, unfortunately. So I swapped a couple of boards with another machine, and I still couldn't get to boot. And I think everything kind of like led to the NC unit. So I told the customer, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's your NC unit, but I don't feel comfortable swapping that with anything because I can't make a backup. And if I can't make a backup and I somehow lose everything, yeah, that's not going to be good. So um, call the OEM in or distributor, whatever, in for that because I don't want something bad to happen in that case. And they understood. I told them I'm not going to charge you for the time that I was here. I was there for like maybe an hour or something. Um, but they understood. It was no biggie. I had another customer that's got two robo drills. Robo drills. Fuck. Two EDM robo cuts. Sorry, two EDM Fanic robo cuts that I don't really have a lot of experience on. So I hired a contractor out of the Chicago area to come up and replace the tank seals on it. So he did that, knocked that out. Sounds like we got the next one scheduled next week. So he'll be in there to do that one as well too. So. Another customer, they were having an issue on a Mori mill with Yaznak control. Fucking shoot me, man. Very old MV40 with Yaznak controller, and they couldn't get the Y-axis to move on it, and it was constantly alarming out. So I showed up and I disconnected the motor from the drive, turned the machine on. Machine turned on just fine. I was like, hey, I don't get that lucky sometimes. I was like, all right, so I either got something wrong with the motor or the cable that runs from the motor to the drive unit. So I got the motor exposed. I megged the motor through the cables, and every leg showed bad. So I was like, okay, well, that makes me feel a lot better. And then exposed the motor, double check continuity through the cabling back to the drive. That was fine. So cable was fine. I was like, all right, definitely motor. So we went on a hunt to try to find a replacement motor because it's so old. So we were able to find a replacement motor, and they got that shipped in overnight pretty quickly. So I showed up the next day and installed it and didn't have any issues. The Y-axis worked just fine. So I was happy about that. Customers happy too because they're waiting for a new Haas to show up, a new Haas mill, and this is like the last time basically that they're gonna need this fucking mill, but go figure, like in the time that they're waiting for this Haas to show up, this machine goes down and they have an order that they need to fill. So it's like they were calling me, screaming at me to get in. I was like, yeah, I'll get in, no worries. Um, I had a Haas lathe, an ST40, I think. Um, Needed uh, basically a complete alignment of the entire machine. The Z and X parallelism were both out, so I straightened those out. Um, Spindle was okay, but the tailstock was a little dodgy. So um, the center that they had in the tailstock, we couldn't get it out, like in the machine. Like there was nothing we could do to get it out. I mean, we tried to beat the shit out of this thing, and I couldn't get uh, the uh, god damn it, what do you want to call it? Engagement coupling, basically. It When the tailstock comes up and engages on the end of the part, there's an engagement coupling, or like man, my brain is just uh thrust coupling. Holy fuck, man. The thrust coupling, I couldn't even get the cap off of the thrust coupling. It was so rusted. So I had no choice but to take the entire tailstock body out. And they got heat on it, and then they put a wedge in there, and they were able to get it out. I was like, all right, great. So now I can put the tailstock body back in. I was like, we're not putting that back in. Fuck that. So I put a bunch of anti-seize inside and whatnot, and then put another center in there. So that ended up being pretty good. Got that all knocked out, whatnot. So that's pretty much it for the most part. The same customer had another machine that's having a way lube issue on it. They swear it's got a way lube leak, and I try to explain to them it's way lube doesn't necessarily leak from the lubing points, like where it's supposed to be getting lube. It's an open circuit, so they're like, yeah, but consumption's really going on. I was like, well, the timer of the way lube unit runs off of a ladder timer in the ladder. So I was like, if it's cycling, that hasn't changed. Like the cycling is all based off of a timer in the ladder. As long as the machine is in memory mode, it runs off of a certain amount of time, basically. And I swear that there's a leak or something. I try to. There's no leak. I was like, the only thing that could possibly be happening is you have a Dester unit stuck open, or a metering valve. I call them Dester units, but you have a metering valve stuck open. So um, I, I don't know how else to explain to them. I was like, I checked the entire machine. I looked for leaks. They swapped one of the Dester units out for a new one, and everything seems fine. I didn't see no broken lines, no worn out lines, nothing like that. So, I yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else is going on. So, um, the consumption rate is all based off of the ladder, and as long as nobody's been in the ladder and fucked with the timer, it hasn't changed. So I guess we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. I told them there's 2 more Dester units. If they really want to, go ahead and swap them, um, and see what happens. But when I forced the way loop unit, I got a high pressure alarm, so that's good. Um, that means the metering valves are working kind of the way they should be. Um, so I that one I kind of had to just walk away from. They could still run the machine. The machine doesn't alarm out or anything like that. So I mean, I told them to run the machine. Everything seems fine. So this upcoming week, Monday I have a Haas presetter that I gotta swap and recalibrate. And then Tuesday I have a Mori NH4000 that's getting a pallet seating alarm. So dive into that, and then that's it. I don't really have anything else in the pipeline, which is a little scary. We're kind of slowing down a little bit, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, that I obviously that could change within 30 minutes of any day. You just get a bunch of customers calling. So there are uh, the, there is one customer that's waiting on some parts to show up. So if they end up showing up next week or something like that, then I'll get in there and tackle that shit. Um, all right, motivation time. Fasting. So I did a 60-hour fast last week. I just needed kind of like a reset to my body. You know what I mean? And it was great. It was great. But the thing about fasting is not everybody responds the same to it. So it's different for everybody. For me, I respond pretty well to fasting. I don't have a gallbladder, so I think the break from digestion is really good for my body and for my liver for the most part. Um, the mental aspect of fasting is by far the hardest. When your ghrelin hormone is through the roof, which is the hunger hormone that tells you that you're hungry, um, that is one of the hardest things mentally to channel. You have to channel that out. Fasting physically, eventually you'll hit a point to where physically it just doesn't bother you anymore. It's usually after 24 hours, 24 to 30 hours, somewhere in there. That's when you'll notice that your body shifts. And you start dropping to autophagy, and ketosis is on the horizon too. 40 hours supposedly is around when ketosis hits. But like I said, everybody's different depending on the size of you and your weight and shit like that, how much glycogen stores and all that shit, yada yada yada. But fasting. So the best advice that I can give on fasting is, if you could get through the mental hurdle of it, of damn, like ghrelin, like my stomach is just rumbling. All I can think about is food, and especially sugar cravings. If your body was already on sugar before you started fasting, sugar detoxing fucking sucks, man. It really sucks. So there's a lot of things behind it, but it is a great reset to your body. Fasting is fucking amazing. I love it. I already kind of do an OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. So I typically try to fast within an 18-hour window, something like that, 20-hour window. So I got 4 hours of eating, and um, but the fasting part, man, is for the most part it's mental. As long as you stay up on your electrolytes, water intake. A lot of people say coffee is great, but the thing about coffee is it can cause your blood pressure to spike a little bit and cause you to get kind of lightheadedness depending on how your job is and standing up fast and shit like that. So I just would recommend don't doing coffee during your fast. I would just stay water, electrolytes, shit like that, and it for the most part you'll find that if you have those things, it stays pretty easy, being able to do it. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you. My name's Taylor Goodyear, and I own TG CNC Service out of Wisconsin. I will see you guys next week. We'll see you guys.